All right, here we are, Little Jewel representing. Pushed up against the door because we got a full house. We got the bug in session, we got the UFO trike in session, and now we got this big mother taking up floor space. Little Jewel is a unique project. It's evolving like the rest of them. Last episode, put this front pan on. This episode, I want to continue on the process. I'd like to remind everyone there is no rush to the finish. We're taking our time with all these. Trying to do not our best. We're trying to enjoy ourselves. We're searching around for ideas. Today we're going to try to fill in this area here. We got 2 empty spaces on each side of this cow catcher oddball arrangement, and it's not going to build itself. You hear me? Anybody in there? Let's do it. All right, I mentioned we're a little tight for space. That's simply because, space? We're a little tight on room on the floor. We got 3 projects in the house. Once the UFO is a little bit further along, I'm going to be rotating them in and out. Right now, they're just in a fragile state of being. So Little Jewel's been hopping in and out to give us more floor space. Let's work on these sections. All right. So the space on this side's a little bit bigger just because I think we ran out of material. You know, this was a rough cut when we started this. So let's work on the larger side, and then we'll duplicate it. We're going to use the English wheel and maybe the stretcher or the shrinker. I'm not sure. The thing being is I want a radius edge turning into here. I don't want to put on the sheet metal brake because it's going to be a reasonably organic shape. See, it has to, see how this turns down and then this turns out? So it's gonna want to be a curve, but it's sort of a noodle shape. You know, think about like a water park, right? When you're on that slide, it's gonna be a little slip and slide right through there. All right, I got this piece of scrap. Always trying to use the loose ends. So if this comes here, yeah, that should be just long enough. Or will it? Because I'd like it to go to there. Tell you what, let's cut this off right here. Then as this rolls up, we're going to want our curve, I think, probably right here. Just chop this off. All right, just a quick layout. I'm going to put this in the slip roller. So I'm just using this more as a brake than a roll. I'm going to pull it. If you're familiar with the term pipe anvil, it's definitely a thing. It's a series of round pipes that you can work on to create different radius bends. So I don't have that. What I do have is this slip roll, and I'm going to use it just about the same. Put this right on the mark, and we want about a 90 degree. So I always pull it too far because it springs back. So see, that's what it affords, whereas a sheet metal brake is just one hard line. Let's lay this on the truck and decide how we're going to trim it, and then we're going to put it on the English wheel. Yep, that's totally going to work. Awesome. So because we want to form this, you can see how it's clearly not lining up at all, right? So we want to decide where to cut this. We want to cut it very close to this radius. The more you have a hangover, you have to stretch all this. So typically with things of this nature, you want as close to the bend mark as possible. So see, this is where it gets weird, right here. Right about at this louver. Yeah. About here, it does a little something like this. Then it comes in. Just cut these 2 and take a look. Hopefully I don't overcut it. That's always a bummer. I like the risk. I like the adventure. See, I just grabbed a large piece so I could pull on it. If I had a tool that would just roll this up, I would only need to have a starting piece that big. So yes, this looks cool. I like it. Plenty of material. So what we need to do, in studying this part here curves down a bit, but this part here, I'd say from here right out. And we want to draw this down. See how far this is? Let's put that on a wheel and see what we can accomplish. This is a very tight radius, even for that tool. There are higher crown wheels. But I'm going to try to not interfere with the center of this radius. I'm just going to try to pull. Yeah, see this arrow? I'm going to try to pull this way. I wonder if I should put a higher crown wheel on that. No. I was told, again, I'm not here giving a master class in this. I'm learning. We're all learning together. I was told by the fella who gave me my first little lesson. If you're watching, thank you. He said you can create these like potato chip shapes, right? Like the Pringles potato chips, where it's like a saddle shape, right? So it's a U shape this way, but it's also a U shape that way. And that's what we have to do with this directly. Let me try something in explaining. And he also said, think of the English wheel as a hammer, not as a roller. When you're moving it through here, it's acting like you're beating it into shape like a hammer would. So I'm going to pull this up. Oops. And as I remember, you don't really want to do that. You want to stay off the edge. Let's try this. See, I just felt it right there. It really did it. Unfortunately, I think it might be taking that radius, changing it. So, it definitely dropped it out. Let's just see what territory we're in. I wonder if I can't try this too. Let me try this. I'm going to try pulling this right over. That really did it, but it's kind of lumpy now. Don't bang the wheel like that. Novices. Let's go see what this does. It's sort of doing what we want. Let me hit this with a rubber hammer now, because I can use this as a buck and that as a buck. So I definitely overdid it. So my first instinct is we got a more solid hammer and a rubber hammer. This is cool. Let me just see what happens here. There it went. That'll work. Okay, let's roll this one out now. See that dent? That's no good. I hit the edge of the tool with it. From here, we want this to roll out. All right, so I'm gonna put this on the anvil here. So you got this cone here. It's got a whole bunch of different radiuses. So I don't know if you can catch that dent, but I'm just gonna try to reverse it right here. And I'm putting that curve right back in it. That worked good. So now we want this to do this. So I'm just gonna put this here. Again, I'm just gonna rough it out. Right, it's definitely overkill. There ain't no kill like overkill. All right, pulled it too far. So that's starting to feel like something. But these dents, this anvil isn't perfectly smooth, so it's transferring some of those dents. Yeah. Of course, this is going to be straighter right through here. That is going to be... All right, let's see what we got. It's definitely weird looking. So by hitting it, I totally lost this. So we really need to stretch this center. We need to pull that down. So I think that means stretching this out. I have a rack of lower wheels for this. Let me try to grab a different one if I can find them. Different curvatures. So the fellow also gave me this rubber wheel, which would act as a bit of a bead roller. This is the steepest one I have. Let's just try this. It's the most curve offered. Yeah, more than it was. Yeah, it's stretching it. Let's try this. One day I'll take the time to really think about this. It's doing something. I think I'm on the right course by stretching these edges. But I know I'm still really just a hack, as they say, just a novice. Let's see what that looks like. See if that's gonna do something. Now another thing I'm aware of is stretching these edges. I don't know if I want to get involved with all that, you know? I like to keep it simple. Definitely helped. Let's do this. We know we're committed there. I'm gonna put the marker. I'm gonna finish that edge off. And I think we're just gonna hammer this into shape, even if I use a dolly behind there. You know, we're not too stuck on what either shape is. We just want it to be symmetrical. And I'm not trying to spend all day doing this. After the move, I was able to dig this out, thanks to one of our community. Give me the cool little wheelie dealy rolling knee pads with a tool rack, a little shelf. All right, so I'm just looking here. I will share this with you, of course. But I'm just trying to come up with a quick, simple solution for this rear. I'm gonna hit it with the Beverly Shearer, then trim it by hand. Wow. Your hands ever get so dry that they're just broke. Let's put a clamp here. And I might just weld it. I might just weld it as we go. I don't want to mess with this. Does anybody want to spend all day forming sheet metal? I want to build a vehicle. I think that's the difference between, say, an artist and a craftsman. Like, I just want to get on with it. It's funny, my friend Scratch's Garage, he has a YouTube also. He had some words of support for the Bug project. Because, you know, traditional hot rodders, sometimes they have a little hang up with Volkswagens. But he doesn't. He's a cool cat. He's like, you know I love that car, man. Heck yeah. So I felt good about that. One thing he also said in the DVD a long time ago, and, you know, he was talking the artist mentality. You know, he's talking about his pinstriping. He's like, if I do the work twice, I want to get paid twice. So I guess that's what I was getting at with this. Not that I'm getting paid either way, but I don't want to do this work twice. Like, I don't want to form everything, take it apart, and then put it back together. I want to go straight through. In other words, I want satisfaction immediately in the most straightforward way. I'm gonna crawl under there and put this clamp on the back side of all this. Yeah, so we'll start by tacking it to that pan. As I mentioned, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the excess. It's easier to flex it. See, we'd be having to stretch all this. We don't need all that. Let's try it with this plastic. A fine mess out of this. That's what we get for rushing. So one thing I was trying to say, sometimes it pays to have patience. No, I wasn't saying that. I was saying I wanted to rush through. All right, take it the barbaric approach. We are getting the stretch out of it. If I had access to the underside of this, I'd be able to really dolly it out. Again, I'd have to pull this off and separate those panels. But you know, I think we're going to achieve something acceptable. Always looks worse before it looks better. And when you form a piece of steel, you'll notice that it really wrinkles up on the edges. That's what we're just experiencing. Just since it's welded, looked a little more dramatic. Because it had to give somewhere, so by hammering it, I stretched it back. Starting to get somewhere. Let's continue on. I'll weld this. See how it starts to tear right there? You know you're at the limit. So we're gonna put a lot of heat into this right now with the welds. All right, that's satisfactory to me. I can't put anything under there without taking this off. I can pretty much sit there and hammer that until it's absolutely perfect. Should you feel the need. That's really all I'm doing here. I got this edge of the hammer and I'm just rattling it on whatever little high spots. Because all this is trapped, you know, it's causing this to lay into shape. So for this part, I'm going to get the screw gun, and I'm going to screw this together, because I can't really get a clamp in that deep, I don't think. And it's good too to just have a different light on it. I'm just going to keep tapping this. Once I get all done, the axle's going to come off because I still have to finalize all this hardware. So at that point, I can trim back a little bit, really hammer and dolly it. But all right, so this side worked out very good. I'm going to do the same to here. There's a lot less talking, a little more action. Be right back with a piece of sheet. All right, so little jewel Little Jewel's never gonna have a nice paint job. It's gonna be a mashup of just, old black paint, flat black, and maybe some rust, especially in the structural stuff. So just for now, I'm gonna black this out because I think really, with a lot of the projects I do, especially with the bug, people get distracted by the contrast. I'm just gonna go from here across, help out that contrast. Because this, for now, fabricated done. I can come back, do some more body work. Of course, I'll strip the paint off, but this will stop it from becoming orange. I don't want it to be rusty, like bright rusty orange ever. Main thing for me is just to take the shine off, really get away from all the scratch marks. And in the end, I might shine up the tips of this cow catcher arrangement. For now, I think one color, just like the old days with the rat rods, flat black. When the rat rods first started out, rust wasn't that big a factor. It was, we just primer it to get it on the road. It's the state of affairs with this project. Let's let that dry and see how it looks. All right, I'm gonna open up this door, let the sun shine in. That's a wrap on this section of the Jewel. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful sunny afternoon. Let's do some more fun stuff next time.